Top of the morning. How's it going? Thank God for the wake up. Thank God for the wake up. Thank God for the wake up. Welcome to another edition of Talking Cancer. My journey, my way. Hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. Hope you had a nice cup of coffee, cup of joe, maybe some tea, a little bit of breakfast. The past couple of days, I've decided to extend my fasting until like around lunchtime, so then I eat a little bit there, maybe have a small dinner, whatever. But life is good right now. But I have a little situation, and maybe I could get some input for those who are listening, whatever. So if you're listening, please pay attention to the situation. And if you have any ideas, cool. Okay. So this goes back to 2020. Now remember that I was diagnosed. If you have been listening, you know that I was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer in 2021, June of 2021. Okay. I was diagnosed through Sharp. Okay. My health insurance and everything was going through Sharp. So I had 9 polyps removed at that time of my colonoscopy. And then they did the biopsy of the mass that I had and, find out it was colorectal cancer. Started me on the process. But this is where my dilemma starts. Okay. So let me kind of fill you in on a few things. Okay. In 2020, I was not with Sharp. I was with UCSD. UCSD is now the place I'm going to for my second opinion and continuing my services with at this point. Now, in 2020, I was with UCSD. Okay. In March of 2020, I went to the doctor. At that time, I remember telling you guys that we were in the middle of COVID, so on and so forth. And I was having a lot of gas, a lot of burping. I could not stop burping, and I could barely eat. So a lot of the symptoms I was having not too long ago when I was fasting or before I was fasting, stuff was going on, right? So I'm going to the doctor. I went to the doctor because of this stomach pain, barely being able to eat, getting full real fast. But at the end of the day, I was having this burping that just nonstop, just wouldn't stop. Okay. So I go to the doctor, UCSD. When I go to the doctor, they draw blood, okay. And they prescribe me some medicine for H. pylori. The doctor says, yeah, it sounds like you have H. pylori. Okay. I read up the symptoms, some similarities there, whatever. So they gave me some medicine. He said, in the meantime, I want you to take this and bring a stool sample back. So went home, gathered up a stool sample, turned it into wherever I was supposed to turn it into. Well, I never heard back from UCSD in regards to that stool sample. Okay, this was back in March of 2020. So I never heard back from UCSD. Now, some history about me. If I don't go to the doctor, I don't know all these things. If I don't feel bad, I don't go. That's just how I was. Now I'm a little bit different. Time changes people. Maybe because I am sick now. So, but at that time, if I wasn't sick enough, I wouldn't go to the doctor. I wouldn't go get checkups. Just wouldn't. It just never really, crossed my mind. I always felt great. So I turn in the stool sample, never hear from UCSD. So I go on with the medicine, whatever. It clears up, the gas clears up a little bit, but not really. Still there. But now I'm just living with it. H. pylori. Okay. Try some other things, over the counter stuff to try to help out. Digestion, medicine and stuff like that. But, so let's go ahead and fast forward now, because that was it for 2020. Really, I didn't go to the doctor anymore. Never heard back from UCSD. So now we fast forward to June of 2021. My health insurance changed, and now I'm seeing Sharp. Okay, going to Sharp facilities. But this time I go to urgent care because I'm having a hard time going to the bathroom. I'm like in excruciating pain. Excruciating. Like I would be screaming on the toilet. You know what I mean? Trying to go to the bathroom. It just hurts so bad. Like I was constipated, but like 100 times worse. And when I went to the doctor, they took some x-rays, whatever. They was like, no, we need to set you up for a colonoscopy. So they gave me some medicine immediately, like go pick this bottle up and drink that shit, and we're going to schedule for an immediate colonoscopy. Okay. So, excuse me, I got the trash truck right near me right now. So, excuse me if you hear that. But like I said in my previous, I come in raw. I record right in my house. In my car. Anyways, I go in for a mini colonoscopy. That's when they find everything. Yeah, Lewis, it looks like you have cancer, but we won't know until they get the biopsy test back. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, biopsy test come back. Hey, Lewis, you got colorectal cancer. Okay, I start seeing the doctors. Everything starts to process. The way I went in for a second opinion during my stage 3 was a little bit different. I went in because I went to go see this place called California Protons to see if they do more of like pinpoint lasering, or like pinpoint radiation. And they recommended I go to UCSD guy, whatever. I went over there, he examined me, whatever, They gave me a treatment plan, suggested it to Sharp, and we went there. But I never really looked into UCSD like that. Okay? Never really tripped. Just like, okay, they gave me the treatment plan, they faxed it over or emailed it over to the doctors at Sharp, and we kind of went from there. I was like, hey, thank you, UCSD, and went about my merry way. Now, this is the tricky part. Because now I'm doing things through UCSD, where I go get the second opinion for the treatment plan. Okay? For my treatment plan. So I start, going into my chart, through UCSD, whatever, because I have everything transferred over there. And when I went to go see the doctor for my follow up with UCSD and the treatment plan, whatever, and he, does everything, orders a blood analysis, whatever, give me the plan of what they think after all the things that they've read from Sharp. So when I leave, me and the wife leave, we kind of get in the car, we kind of sit there, and, we're going through some of my files that were in UCSD. And lo and behold, there was a test result for a stool sample back in 2020. And the stool sample in 2020 read positive for possible colorectal cancer. Okay? So let's put the timeline together. 2020, March of 2020 to June of 2021, 15 months passed before I found out that I had stage 3. I could have definitely found out a lot sooner. A year and a half passed. 15 months passed. Excuse me, not a year and a half. Let me get my timeline right. 15 months passed before I found out I had stage 3. Now, this is where the dilemma comes in, because I went to go. Now, one, why was I never ever notified? Why wasn't I notified that my test came back positive for colorectal cancer? If they would have found that at that time, then they would have scheduled the colonoscopy to confirm. But the blood work and the stool sample state or show that, hey, I'm highly likely to have colorectal cancer. So now, this is where the dilemma comes in, because I already called a few people, lawyers, to try to find out, hey, what is this? Is this like a negligence, malpractice type thing? What is this? Well, they pretty much said, hey, this falls in the lines of a malpractice, well, they didn't tell me, whatever. But the timeline in which I found out, because I only found out like 2 weeks ago when I seen when I went back to UCSD and checked everything and looked at the my chart and seen that all the files that popped up were, and boom. And if it wasn't for my wife, she was like, what's that? Because I was just kind of looking at the dates, for the most recent. She was like, what's that in 2020? So I push it, and there it was. So I talked to a few lawyers, and the problem with this right now is that it's past the statute of limitations to even entertain or investigating. I feel like, whoa, statute of limitations for something I didn't know. I just found out 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like, I think, people rely on people to say, hey, you have follow my health, or you have my chart. It's your responsibility to look these things up and blah, 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 blah. Well, these things never really existed, at one point. So the doctor would always just call. And that's what I'm used to. Like, hey, if something urgent like this is happening, we should have some form of communication besides a follow my health or my chart. You know what I mean? Because like I've stated earlier, I never was a doctor person anyways. And since I went to the doctor and he's telling me H. pylori, I kind of just, hey, run with the doctor. Yep, doctor says H. pylori. Boom. You know? I don't like doctors and facilities in medicine anyway. So, doctors know best, right? At least that's what I'm thinking at that time. So the question is, what should I do? Do anybody have any suggestions on what I'm saying, on the facts that I'm saying? Because I'm really feeling uncomfortable right now because we could have caught this 15 months earlier. Could have been in the stage 2. I don't know how fast this thing is moving. It could have been in the stage 1. 15 months for cancer to sit there and ferment is a long time. For cancer to just sit there and grow and not be addressed. Even in my eating, whether it was my eating or anything, if I wanted to stay holistic or whatever, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that I wasn't doing anything at that time to address it for 15 months. The fact of the matter is that I didn't know. The fact of the matter is that no one even reached out and said, hey, you know what, Lewis, we found some stuff in your stool. It's very important that you come in and we set up another appointment so we could make sure we rule out anything. And now I'm barely finding out. Now you're telling me that it's the statute of limitations from the day that I found out I had colorectal cancer. Yeah, I found out in 2021. It's been 3 years or 2.5 years, but it's over the year limit or something like that. And you can't do nothing about it. This is what pretty much every lawyer is telling me right now. Now, is that wrong? Or, I mean, if I would have known earlier, don't you think I would have said something earlier? I would have addressed the situation earlier if I would have known that my stool sample had came back positive. I wouldn't wait 2.5, 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, it just don't make no sense. Why would I wait purposely? Right? And why wouldn't you call? Did I fall between the cracks? Did I fall between the cracks because we were in the middle of a pandemic? Like, really though? Like this right here is playing with in my life. And I'm not saying that they did it on purpose. It definitely could have just been like they were overwhelmed with the pandemic but the fact of the matter is that it slipped through the cracks. Nobody even attempted to call me or contact me and say, hey, Lewis, we need to set up an appointment. It's urgent. I get emails all the time from doctors and appointments and text messages and all this shit. You reminded me of my appointments now. What, you're not too busy anymore? Pandemic's over? You could go back to conducting regular business? What do you think? You have any suggestions? Any ideas of how to proceed with something like this? You know? Again, the fact of the matter is, I didn't know till 2 weeks ago that I had a positive stool sample back in 2020. The fact of the matter is that they never contacted me whatsoever to tell me anything. Is that my fault? Am I supposed to go into the doctor's records and look at everything and hey, you're supposed to trust the doctor, right? You trust them to, you're supposed to listen to the doctor to give you chemo and do all of this other stuff. Well, you should trust the doctor to get in contact with you if you have a positive stool sample. But now it's my, you know what I mean? Like, is it my fault because I didn't, I'm not hip to checking my chart and follow my health on a regular basis? I've always been a healthy guy. It wasn't on my radar. Anyways, love your suggestions. Any ideas, inbox me, whatever. I'm not inboxing, but send me a message on my social media if you like. You can inbox me through there. Cancer, My Journey, My Way. On Facebook, you can email me, cancermyjourneymyway@gmail.com. That's cancermyjourneymyway@gmail.com. Leave me a message. Even if you want to, there's a poll thing on here. I never really ask questions from you guys on there, but there's a poll, and you guys can send me a message through here as well on Spotify for podcasters. Yeah, hit me up though. I'm very, kind of just looked at my issues or whatever, and I don't see any help, but maybe you guys have different ways of going through things. Now, mind you, real quick too, is that I did leave a message with UCSD trying to find out why wasn't I notified. I haven't got a return call back yet. So I'm assuming that they're investigating, trying to find out what happened. But yeah, never received any callback. So I think maybe today, maybe tomorrow, I'll give them a couple days because I called on Monday. So give them a couple days, see if they get back. Today or tomorrow, I'll give them a call back and say, hey, what's going on? I left a message, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I appreciate your time. This your boy, Lewis, Uncle Lou. Whatever you want to call me, just don't call me Collect. And saying peace, love, one.